Hi guys, welcome to another video. I have had such a reaction to this bag. I don't like this bag. I think it's the most annoying bag in the world, and I've done a whole video on that. But in that video, my comments were, yeah, lots of people love this bag. They love it and they will forgive the fact that the closure of it is so annoying. Anyway, I thought that I would give you a little bit of a first impression of it. You know, my thoughts on it are very clear. I don't love it. I have made a mistake, but I know a lot of you guys have been looking at this bag and been thinking of buying it. So I thought I would do a proper review and compare it to a couple of other bags, just so you guys can in effect make an informed decision rather than just me saying don't buy it, it's horrible, blah blah blah, because we all love different things, don't we? So let's get going. So let me introduce you to this bag in the first place. So this is the YSL College Bag in the medium size. I don't know if they do a small, but this is the smaller version. There is definitely a bigger one. And it is a fabulous size, and I think it looks pretty nice. I really do. It has the top handle that is not detachable. It is slightly jangly and a little bit squeaky, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, don't be too negative at first, Deb. Just get on with it. But it comes in this beautiful chevron, and I do think that suits this style of bag. I think, I don't know, just the way that it comes down to the point here, I think the chevron just looks really lovely. This is the version that has the ruthenium hardware, so it already looks quite distressed and quite aged, and I really do like that, particularly with the grey. I think it looks really edgy and lovely. On the back it has a pocket which is actually a very good size. It doesn't have any closures or magnetic closures, anything like that. It is literally a pocket, but that is a really good size and very easy to use. On the face of it, this bag has a lot going for it, and that is why I wanted to buy it. That is why it was on my wish list for such a long time. So what does it have? What are the pros of this bag? Well, the size of it is fabulous. It is a great size. You can fit so much in it. And you can see here, if we have a look on the inside, you've got a really big compartment here. You've got a smaller, thinner compartment here. You've got a zipper and a slip pocket. You've got the pocket on the back. It is very handy. It really is, because at the end of the day, we all like to be able to carry a few bits around, don't we? Some bags that have the different compartments inside mean that you lose a lot of space, but this, it actually is still quite a decent space, even though it's got that compartment. It is fabulous. It feels very light. I always talk about the bags being heavy, and although heaviness can often feel, oh, it's luxury, I don't like heavy bags, because by the time I've shoved all my stuff in there, they've just got heavier and heavier. So I appreciate the fact that this is light. It really is light. Now, what else have we got? Let me explain about the chain. The chain, I love the chain on this. I actually do. It is a really lovely, it's like a flat, I don't know if you can see that. It's like a flat chain. And it's in the ruthenium. I do believe these come in gold as well. And do they come in more of a shiny silver? I'm not entirely sure, but this is the ruthenium. And it does have the leather tab on the top, which makes it, yeah, just very comfortable on the shoulder. It has the little hooks. I don't know if that's coming up. And then obviously the top handle is not detachable, but the strap is. So let's get this chain on. And then you can see, just having this hanging down, it actually looks really cool. And I do think the grey with the ruthenium is quite edgy. So looks, it has a big tick for me. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought it, would I? If I thought the look of it was not aesthetically pleasing, I wouldn't have even bothered to even look at it. So it does have a really big tick. So can I just address a couple of the comments? So there was a lot of comments on my previous video of people who really agreed with me, that said yes, they've had the exact same issue with their college bag or even some other YSL bags, that the lip on the magnet makes it super hard to find the closure. It's super strong, so hard to get in and out of, and everybody, quite a few people did agree with me. There were people who said, actually, I agree it's a really strong magnet, but that means it makes it super secure. So yes, it might be harder to get into, but for security reasons, it makes it more secure. And I fully understand that. So I think if you're out abroad, for example, and I don't know, you're out and about all day and it's somewhere that's quite known for pickpockets, it's probably a good bag in that respect, because nobody's getting into this. Absolutely nobody is getting into this. So it definitely does have its positives. Quite a few people also said that I'm being far too dramatic and it isn't that bad. Well, it's annoying, and when something is really annoying, it will put me off using it. And I think the annoyance for me was that I rushed into it. And yes, it had been on my wish list, and yes, it wasn't something that I'd never thought about before, but I didn't do my research properly. So I hadn't gone into store and opened it and properly looked at it, and that is where I got so annoyed with myself of making such a rash decision and wasting money, because none of us want to waste money, do we? So anyway, let's get back to the bag. So the chain strap on this I think is great. I think a few people did mention to me that they find this chain really annoying, that it does twist round and then you're always trying to get it flat and flush on your body. And I haven't, I've only used it once. I've only used it once. I haven't noticed that. But I can see what people mean, that if this isn't flush, it will be really annoying and it might be uncomfortable. Whereas a normal chain, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have a flatter side. And also some people said that the whole thing is quite jangly, and it sort of is, but most chains are. So I don't think personally it's any worse than any other in that respect. The strap drop on this is fabulous. It's not adjustable. I don't think it is. No, it's not adjustable on the crossbody length. But on me, and I moan so often about the chain lengths on crossbody bags, that they are often too short for me. And I am 5'4". I'm not a tall lady at all, but I am quite curvy, and therefore that does make a difference. And also how long your torso is, where you particularly like to carry your bags. I like mine slightly lower, more on my hip rather than near my waist. So for me, a lot of bags are that little bit too short. This is an absolute fabulous length. And so that's why it's such a shame that this has just not worked for me, because on paper it should. It just should. It really should. So let's talk about a couple of the cons of this bag. So obviously the first one is the obvious one that I've done the whole video about, and it is the closure. It is just so annoying. It is literally so strong, the magnet, that eventually you can get into it, and trying to close it against the bag itself, unless you can see here, it just doesn't, you can't just push it, it pushes against itself and it's not clicking, and you have to get it just perfect. There, we've got it perfect, and then it closes. And it is, I've tried to explain this, but it's so much harder when it's on your body than it is just when I've got my two hands on it now. So that is the biggest downside for me, and I think that lends itself, this one, and I mentioned this before, I obviously bought this pre-loved and I got it for a fabulous price, which was the only saving grace for this. But what it did mean is that it does have a little bit of wear. It does have a little bit of wear, but the worst bit of wear is on this bit here. I don't know if that's coming up or not. And I think that is literally somebody, a previous owner, pulling, trying to get the magnet open, has literally worn away. It's worn away the edge of it, because it is quite a pointed edge. So anyway, wear and tear. This bag, I believe, was bought in 2019, I believe, and therefore it has had some wear. It's a few years old. It's not super old, but it's not brand new either. So what would I say about the wear and tear on it? Well, it has definitely shown some wear. I don't know how often this bag has been worn over those years. I don't know if it's been well loved and well used, or whether it's only been used a few times. Yeah, I just don't know that, but I can see that there is wear on this. So it's hard for me to say what I think the wear and tear is on this bag. It does feel reasonably durable. It doesn't feel soft like Chanel lambskin, for example. It feels hardier than that. It feels more durable than that. But yeah, we will see. I do think getting the ruthenium hardware is probably a good idea because it's already aged to start with, so you're not going to see any wear or any aging that isn't already there. So I do think that that's sort of a good thing. What else would I say about this bag? It doesn't feel, and I did get a little bit of pushback in the comments on this, for me it doesn't feel massively luxurious. It feels, how do I say this, it feels like it's a nice bag. And it is a nice bag, but these retail at £2,000. These are not a lower end contemporary bag. This is YSL, this is Saint Laurent. And I know the price lower than Chanel or an equivalent Dior bag or Louis Vuitton, some of Louis Vuitton bags. But to be fair, £2,000, there are, say, leather speedies that you could get for £2,000 in the Empreinte leather, or in the region of £2,000. So I do think it's comparable in price to some Louis Vuitton, and for me, and it is, and I've said this in some of the comments that replies to the comments, that I can only tell you my experience based on my thoughts and my likes and my dislikes. So for me, I'm telling you, I suppose, that if I could buy this or a leather speedy, I would go for a leather speedy all day long. But that is just me. You may have a completely different opinion, and you may think absolutely not. You can get a YSL beautiful bag compared to a speedy. Why would anybody want a Louis Vuitton speedy? So, you know, there are other bags in Louis Vuitton as well that are a comparison to this, but you know, you could get one of the leather pochette Matisse. I suppose that would be an equivalent, a very good comparison to this because of the satchel style. Now, I had my own issues with the pochette Matisse with the closure of that and the annoying S-lock. So maybe I just don't like these flap messenger bags. Maybe they're just these sort of satchel styles. Maybe they're just not for me. Maybe they're not. I love the look of them, but they just haven't worked for me. I suppose that's it. So yeah, my opinion is that at full retail price, this for me is not, it's not something I would ever consider at the full retail price. I got this for 740 something pounds, including shipping, etc. So I think for that it was a very, very good price and a good buy, except it hasn't worked for me. So in fact, it hasn't been a good buy, because any money, even if it was a great saving on retail, if you don't love it and you don't use it, it's a complete waste of money, isn't it? You can spend £1 million on something and it'd be worth every penny. You can spend £30 on something that is an absolute waste of money. So yeah, it's not necessarily just about the amount of money that you've spent, it's the value and worth to you. And this just isn't worth, I just don't love it, is what I'm trying to say. So I wanted to give this a fair chance, if that makes sense, and I wanted to compare it to other bags that I have. Now, I don't have a pochette Matisse anymore in order to compare it, but what I do have is two bags that are slightly, a lot more higher end, I would say. So I have the Chanel 19. Let me just take the chain off the college bag because it's very rattly and the microphone will pick it up. So I've just taken that off. So I wanted to do a comparison. Now, I know these don't compare in price, but it gives you an idea that if you know what this bag feels like, looks like, on the body and all of the rest of it, and the capacity of it, and you know, that you can see in comparison, they're not dissimilar sizes, they are not dissimilar shapes. They've both got the top handle, they've both got the back pocket, they've both got the flap. So you can see there. Now the difference obviously is that the college bag, the crossbody strap is detachable. On the Chanel 19 it isn't. So this, if you want to just wear the top handle, you have to just tuck in. You have to just tuck in this strap because it is attached on the top here. So that, there we have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of mod shots of these just so you can see, because what I would say is, much as I love the Chanel 19, and I do, and I obviously like closures where it just is easy and it closes fully, properly. I can do that one-handed, there's no issue. I think that's what I like, because this is still a flap bag and I do like it. But capacity wise, let me just show you the inside of this. This just has one area, and then it has a zippered pocket at the back, so I sort of think you can fit slightly bulkier things in it. But what I would say about the Chanel 19 is the strap drop on this, I'll show you in the mod shots, but the strap drop on this is slightly shorter than the college bag, and the college bag for me is a perfect cross body length for me, so it definitely wins on the chain length. It really does. So yeah, so that is the Chanel 19, and then I also have the Caro bag. Now the Caro bag I have in the small size, but if you maybe were looking at the medium size Caro bag, it would probably be more comparable. And again, this is a flap, you open it up. I obviously like closures like this that are just easy. Again, it's one area. What this doesn't have, it does not have the top handle. So because of that, it just has the one longer, it's all tucked in now, but it just has the one chain, which is detachable and you can add other straps to it. But I just thought that, yeah, this is not exactly comparable, but if you're in the market for that very nice looking crossbody bag, then yeah, this might be something you might consider. The price of this is quite a lot more than the college bag, not gonna lie. But is it worth the extra money? Well, only you can decide that. For me, I would rather, I don't know, save up a little bit more or wait a little bit longer and go for something like the Dior, because it feels, I know that they're not the same price. This is in the region of 2,000, this was in the region of 3,000, so it is a lot of money more, but the comparison in quality when you just get your hands on these, there's just, for me personally, there's no comparison. There is literally no comparison. So this feels quality, this feels okay, if that makes sense. Obviously the Chanel 19 is even more money. Yeah, so I'm not comparing these in price or in quality per se. I'm just giving you a little comparison so you can see what this would look like in comparison to those ones. So yeah, I hope that's been a little bit useful. I hope that you see that I'm trying to be fair and honest about my reviews. If something doesn't work for me, I'm going to tell you guys, and also I want to be fair and honest with the good points of a bag, because I know that just because I don't love it doesn't mean you guys won't. Lots of you in the comments love this bag and love YSL. So in that respect, you do you. I've said that in so many videos. You do you. And yeah, I hope that's been useful. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see what happens with this one. I do not know its future, but we will see. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on another one.